Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Michele Rahal with Channelshift. Last May, we interviewed a British driver in the Indy Racing League who struck us as what you'd call an extremely rare type of individual. His name's Alex Lloyd. At the time, he'd been given a shot for the Indy 500 with Sam Schmidt Motorsports, and he made more than a journeyman showing for himself, earning himself the nickname Pink Lloyd for obvious reasons. Well, that one outing has now netted him a ride with one of the top teams, and that being Newman, Haas, Lanigan. He'll partner with a familiar name to me, Graham Rahal. Well, what made him stand out to me was that his parents sold their house, struggled through the trials and tribulations in complete belief their son could do it. We as Americans typically think that that's something that we do. The Europeans don't. Well, I was surprised to find out that's not true. He also displayed courage. And I define that not in some heroic way, but I'll invoke this little thought. Courage is not the absence of fear, but rather it's the will to keep fighting, and fight this guy has. Well, it's time to get reacquainted with this young superstar, so sit back and enjoy the first part of this four-part series about the future of a great racing driver, Alex Lloyd. I'm Michele Rahal for Channelshift. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next three. Alex Lloyd, we have never met. You are the driver that kind of stunned the racing world. 11th, you made it in on the first qualifying day in the Sam Schmidt Chip Ganassi car with a completely different sponsor, a wild color pink. You're now known as Pink Lloyd. I mean, it's kind of blossomed out, but it's the typical story to me now, tell me if I'm wrong, but it's the typical overnight success where you spent 10 years becoming an overnight success. Because I saw you in 2003, it should have been a breakout year for you. 2007 sure should have been a breakout year for you. Tell me about the struggle.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, and it's tough for a lot of drivers, especially ones that don't have a big sponsor behind them or family money or whatever to keep driving you up the ladder, because racing is one of the only sports out there where the athlete has to pay to play, basically. Yeah. You know, you can't just pick up a golf club and go swing and, you know, hope that if you're good that you can, you know, compete in the tournaments and win. As a driver, you know, you have to have somebody that will pay $1 million or more perhaps to get yourself in that car in the first place to see if you're any good. So I've had that throughout my career, and I managed to kind of figure out a way to keep going. And then when I moved over here in 2006, my parents sold the house. We used the equity from the house as a final little bit to try and give me that step, which fortunately got me to where I am now. But I mean, my first IndyCar race was the last year's 500, and I haven't raced an open wheel car since then until now. So it was still on that point where I'm just trying to get to that last step.
You know what interested me so much when this whole thing happened was I found out your parents sold the house. They actually took the mortgage out of whatever they did. That, I think Americans think that is a uniquely American thing where, you know, the family from Virginia sells the house and, you know, puts Donnie in the car and, you know, God bless America, here we go. It's something we don't often hear out of Europe. Even if they do, we don't hear it, but we've heard it from you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if other drivers are in similar situations. I'm sure there are some out there. I know that there's quite a few drivers where parents are really giving everything they've got. But yeah, I mean, that was the situation with mine. Is I was fortunate enough that my family had enough money to get me through the go-karting, and I think my first year in proper open wheel cars. But then it had completely dried up, and yeah, I mean, they really tried whatever we could to try and keep going. But like I said, this was the last attempt, really. I'd spent basically the whole of 2005 on the sidelines, and we said, right, this is the last bit of money that we can come up with. It's going to basically bankrupt the family, but we'll give it a final shot. So it was, I mean, that's really the only reason I managed to get to where I am, is because I needed parents that were willing to give up, you know, things that they'd saved for all their lives, pensions, everything, just to try and give me that shot, you know, that I needed. So yeah, I'm very fortunate for that, obviously, because I don't think there are too many drivers out there that had the luxury of something like that to, you know, to give them a chance. And you know, it puts a lot more pressure on you as a driver to deliver. But I feel like since then we've had a really good run at things, and things have been going well. So, I've not quite got to the point where I can start paying back all the the hard efforts that they've put in, but we're getting closer. So that makes me feel good.